there, Gemini, and welcome to your August 2018 Love Reading with Divine Love Tarot. I want to thank you for joining me and welcome you, whether it's your first time or your return viewer or subscriber. I hope this message resonates for you, and if you find that it isn't, just keep in mind that this is a general reading. It may not resonate, or parts of this message may resonate and other parts may not, so you just don't focus on the parts that have nothing to do with you. Also, you might want to check out your moon sign, your rising, and your Venus, because sometimes those planets are more prominent in your chart. All right, guys? So also, I recently hit 5,000 subscribers, I should say, not viewers, 5,000 subscribers, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So if you are a subscriber, please make sure you hit that notification button so that when I send out that video, you guys will get the notification. Otherwise, you may not even see it, because anytime I do a video that's not a specific reading, it gets like 100 views, 200. No one sees it. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into your August love reading. Okay. First card is going to represent your current energy, Gemini. And we've got the Two of Pentacles, okay? So the Two of Pentacles represents that you have a decision possibly to make. For others, this Two of Pentacles can indicate that you are you're balancing. You're either juggling something or you're trying to balance something in your life. You're trying to multitask, whether it's your relationship and work, whether it's two relationships, whether it's your work life and your love life if you're single. All right, so some of you definitely have some decisions, something that you're weighing. Some of you, it's multiple options. All right, we go ahead and clarify that. And we get the Hanged Man. So it's definitely a situation where there's some sort of decision that you need to make and you're not sure which direction that you want to go in, okay? But you are really trying to narrow down your perspective as far as, what it is. You're trying to pull from your self-wisdom. With the Hanged Man, it's basically knowing that you need to let go of something. So there's something that, you need to let go of in order to make this decision and move forward, or in order to stabilize and get the balance that you're looking for. Okay, and that could be anything. That could be something that you believe in. That could be, outdated views as far as relationships and love. It could be people. If you're juggling multiple people, you got to let somebody go. Okay, if you're juggling, or if there is someone that is interfering in your relationship, whether it's another person, an affair, or even a friend or a family member, then you kind of need to let that relationship go if it's affecting your current situation. For some of you, you may be in a relationship with a Pisces and there's some sort of decision that you need to make, or you're deciding if you want to move forward with a Pisces. All right, let's go ahead and see what your challenge is. And we've got the Three of Wands, okay? So for your challenge, some of you, your challenge may be that you need to be patient, okay? Also with the Three of Wands, I really feel like it's patience. I feel like you are really either you're waiting for something, okay, and maybe that's what's holding you back and challenging you to make this decision, all right, because you're trying to be patient with something, but it's basically stalling and holding you up. And I think that that whatever it is, you already know pretty much how it's going to go. So it's almost, to me, it seems like it's almost pointless for you to wait. Also with the Hierophant, some of you could be waiting. I know people look at the cards and they want like sometimes literal interpretation based on what these cards means. But when you're a reader of tarot and you're doing readings and you get the cards, sometimes you get that vision, or you just get something that, okay, kind of makes sense. So there's some of you who are deciding whether you are going to make that next step into marriage. Okay, am I going to have this traditional relationship? Am I going to commit to this person? Am I going to get engaged to this person? Okay, so I feel like for some of my Geminis, you may be struggling with your views as far as being in a conforming to what society expects of you and doing what's quote unquote found to be traditionally the right thing, okay, especially within relationships. And for others, I feel like some of you are waiting for someone to make this commitment to you. Some of you Geminis are waiting for someone, and that's what's holding up your decision. But really, you know what I'm saying, that you need to let go of whether it's waiting on this person or whether it's the person themselves. Some of you may be waiting on a Pisces to commit to you, okay, or a Pisces to be traditional, which, if you're dealing with a Pisces and they're already untraditional, I mean, unless they're like, really a pushover and really just one of those Pisces that just likes to please people, Pisces can be very interesting. I don't want to generalize because I know you guys don't like that either, but, you can't expect something from a person that's just not in their nature. All right, I'll leave it at that. So let's go ahead and move on to your past energy, which you're coming out of. And we've got the Justice card, okay? So some of you are coming out of a situation where, whether it's a relationship where you're used to things being fair and balanced, a situation where you may have learned the truth about something, and maybe that truth is what is causing you to kind of struggle. Maybe someone was honest with you and let you know, listen, you don't spend enough time in this relationship, or excuse me, listen, I need a commitment, or I want a commitment. Okay, somebody might have been very straightforward with you, because the Justice card is the card of like cause and effect. So whatever this was that happened here is the cause for you to now be in a situation where you are trying to find some type of balance in a situation, or you're trying to make some sort of decision. Okay, we can clarify that, and we get the Eight of Pentacles. So for some of you, you were definitely working too much, okay? And somebody might have said to you, listen, you work too much for this relationship to be successful. I don't see you enough. All right. For some of you, you were just focused on other things, and with the Eight of Pentacles, it can also sometimes represent a bit of an obsession. So maybe someone truthfully, whether that was you truthfully let someone know, like, look, you work too much, I need more from you, or it was someone who let you know. But also, the Eight of Pentacles is about wanting things to be not perfect, but you're trying to master something, right? With the Eight, you're trying to make sure that you see this person, they're focused on the details of this card. They're focused on the details, and kind of sometimes the Eight of Pentacles, can indicate like a perfectionist. So for some, I feel like somebody was honest with you about the fact, like, listen, you really asking for a lot. You really want a lot, or you're really too critical on the little things, as far as relationships. And now you're trying to figure out, wow, do I have that kind of hang up? So that may resonate with some of you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to future. And we've got the Three of Cups in the reverse. So some of you, you're going to put an end to a love triangle if you have been in a situation where you were seeing multiple people. Okay, you're going to put an end to that. For others of you, if you were part of a love triangle, you're going to remove yourself from that love triangle. Okay, for some of you with this Three of Cups in the reverse, this can represent also gossip. This can represent, it can still represent an affair. Let me go ahead and clarify. Ooh, we got the Devil in reverse. So I feel like it's coming out of an affair. I feel like you guys realize that, maybe some of you had a tendency to be in multiple relationships. Maybe you guys had a tendency to, always be juggling people. And so I think for some of you, you're going to let that go, okay? Or for those of you who were dealing in a relationship with someone who was juggling other people, you're either going to let that person go, or that person lets go of that third person. All right? But also, with the Three of Cups in the reverse and the Devil in reverse, I feel like for those of you who had like, you like to party a lot or you just like to overindulge in certain things, I feel like you guys are working on that. And sometimes that's where the balance comes in. It's not necessarily about you juggling people. It could be about you trying to balance out that need to some people they go into excess with the pleasures, right? It's like if you go out drinking, you're gonna get wasted. If you start dating, you're just gonna date multiple people. If you start having sex with someone, you're gonna have sex all the time. Like, some people really need to find balance when it comes to things that are pleasurable. And so for Gemini, if that was something that you struggled with before, I feel like here we are, you're finally making progress and letting go of, or finding balance, I should say, and not always tipping, yourself in all or nothing in one direction. Okay, moving on to what you want. All right, and we get, some of these cards are trying to come out all together. We get the Fool. So some of you are ready for a new beginning, okay? Some of you are ready for some change. You're ready to basically move on, okay, from something. Whether, like I said, it was whatever it was that you needed to find that balance for, as far as being in relationships. This is about hope. It's about new beginnings. Some of you are ready to take a chance on someone. For some of you, that may be this Pisces, if you are dealing with a Pisces that you're ready to take a chance on. Some of you may be juggling a Pisces and a Taurus, okay? Some of you may have even had a Libra in your past, but I feel like with the Fool card and with the fact that we've got the Devil in reverse and the Three of Cups in reverse, I think some of you are just getting away from, like I said, any bad habits and bad tendencies that you guys used to have, as far as either relationships or as far as like the way you indulged in things that you found pleasurable. All right, we go ahead and clarify that, and we get the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So I feel like some of you still are kind of on the fence when it comes to commitment, okay? This Fool energy, the Fool enjoys their freedom and their independence. And the Page of Pentacles is a lack of focus, where the Eight of Pentacles, you were very focused. Now you're kind of not wanting to focus on things as much, all right? You may not want to focus on a particular relationship right now. Maybe that's the decision that some of you are trying to make, is that you don't necessarily want to be committed to, whether it's a person or just in general, okay? And maybe that's where that honesty came in before, because the Eight of Pentacles can also be about, people who have commitment issues, and they tend to put their work in front of that as an excuse, okay? So that can sometimes be what the issue is. So let's go ahead and move on to your internal factors, what's driving you, whether you know it or not. We get the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Unequal situations, unequal relationships, unequal unions, okay? So with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, it's about, definitely struggling with selfishness. And maybe that's another issue that some of you guys are struggling with, because, the Hanged Man can represent sacrifice. All right. And so if you are struggling with that, or juggling that decision, or if there's something that you need to decide, about as far as sacrificing, that may indicate a slight bit of selfishness. So Gemini, is that something that resonates with you? Are you guys struggling with, feeling like you're being selfish because you don't want to conform to what somebody else expects of you? Okay. But definitely, I mean, just the Six of Pentacles in reverse alone indicates struggling. So you're definitely struggling with this decision. And we get the Judgment card. You are struggling with a decision. Duh. We've got the Two of Pentacles there. So we already know you have to make a decision. But now it's clear that this is something that you're definitely struggling with, okay? You're struggling with making that decision. For some of you, it's about, like I said, conforming to what is expected of you. Whether, you're expected to settle down, whether you're expected to stop sleeping around. When you get to a certain age and people are like, you need to settle down. And maybe that's just where you're at right now where you're like, no, I just want to keep being free and doing my thing. All right. Some of you may have responsibilities or relationships where some person is saying, look, I'm ready to settle down. Are you ready to settle down? And now you have to decide, am I ready to settle down? And it may come across as selfishness, but I really feel like, it may not necessarily be selfishness if you're not ready. If you know you're not ready, it would be selfish to, in my opinion, lie to someone just to keep them around, even though you know you're not ready. So, let's go ahead and see what the advice for this reading is so we can better understand. And we get the Nine of Wands in the reverse. All right, so with the Nine of Wands in the reverse, the first thing I always think of is like paranoia, right? So it's like, are you paranoid that you're going to lose your freedom if you commit, Gemini? And that's going to resonate with someone. With the Nine of Wands in the reverse, it's, you're like, I think you're really defensive about whatever it is also, okay? It's about having faith also that, whatever decision you make is going to be the right one for you. All right. You cannot overthink these things. You cannot be worried about your selfishness and you're struggling with all these things. Sometimes you just got to step out on faith. All right. And whether that's doing the right thing or whether that's doing the right thing for you, Gemini, sometimes you just got to make that step. And I feel like that's what the Nine of Wands is saying. Step out on faith. All right. Don't be so defensive about whatever it is that you believe. If you feel like you're not ready to settle down, that's not something you need to be defensive about. If you're just being honest, then be honest. If you're in a relationship with someone who is not ready to settle down with you and you're not happy with that, you don't need to be defensive about the fact that you would like a commitment. Okay, because this can go both ways. So for some of you, you may be ready to move on with this Fool card, right? You want to move on from someone who is not ready to commit to you. Okay, so this is me now going the other way for those of you who are in a relationship with someone and you're ready to settle down, and that person is the one that is kind of dragging their feet here. Okay. Moving on to your external influences, we've got the Death card. So there's definitely some change that needs to occur here. All right, you may be dealing with someone who's ready for change and transformation. They're ready for things to move on from this level to the next level or the next phase. For some of you, you may be dealing with a Scorpio, okay? If you're not dealing with a Scorpio, then you're definitely dealing with someone who is ready to move on, and maybe that's where you are with this, needing to make a decision. Clarify that we've got the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. You may be dealing with someone who's tired of being single. Okay, you're dealing with someone who is unhappy being single. You're dealing with someone who may be jealous of some things, okay? They could be jealous of the fact that you work too much, okay? But also this can indicate that someone's a workaholic. Okay, so for some of you, you may be dealing with a workaholic that needs to change. They need to change the fact that they work so much. Like, that's where this change and transformation comes from. That's where this Two of Pentacles comes in. There's somebody who's definitely working either to avoid making decisions in their relationship or avoid moving to the next phase in their relationship, or just because they, are feeling like, some people feel like they just need to work and provide, and they feel like that's the part that they play in relationships. And then there's someone who feels like, no, I need more than that. I need more attention than that. And that's where you need to work on. So for some of you, you're dealing with somebody who's a workaholic, or you're dealing with somebody who is unhappy being single, and they're ready to move and change and transform from that. And they're asking you to come with them or make this transformation. For others, this is someone on the outside looking in at you, and they see someone who is ready for change and transformation, and someone who either possibly is a workaholic or someone who is unhappy being single. All right, let's go ahead and move on to your hopes and your fears. And we've got the Five of Cups. So some of you are fearing that you're going to miss out. Some of you fear that you're going to regret your decision, or you're going to regret losing something or someone. So especially for those of you who are ready to move away from someone who hasn't committed to you, I think you're kind of worried about, how you're going to feel. You're worried about the loss of that person or that relationship. Now, you also have the Sun card. So is it a situation where you're worried that some sort of truth is going to come out? All right, because the sun card can shed a light on situations, but the sun card can also indicate needing space. So I think that some of you, you may be fearing that it's time for space. It's time for a separation, and you know that you're probably going to regret that on some level. Okay, or that like I said, you're going to, like, it's basically the sadness that you're going to feel once you make this decision, right, is going to be kind of like amplified. Okay, moving on to the outcome for this reading, guys, and we've got the Star card. So the Star card, it's like I said, stepping out on faith. That's what I feel like the advice was for the reading, and the outcome with the Star card. And the Star card can definitely indicate destiny, things that we're destined to be. So for some of you, this is just, it's almost like a miracle, I think, for some of you, right? Because the Star card can indicate hope, miracles, also soulmates and things of that nature, being confident in your decision. But also the Star card, is as positive it is as it is, sometimes it comes with just a few obstacles, all right, that you need. Like, of course, you can't imagine that a soulmate relationship is just going to be easy. They're not supposed to be easy. They can be, but it depends. Most times soulmate relationships are causing you to change and grow, and change and growth can be uncomfortable at times. Like, even in reality, when you grow as a child, they have growing pains, right? Because your muscles are stretching, your tendons are stretching with the bone growing. So, those things tend to hurt. So even though we enjoy getting taller and growing bigger, I remember sleepless nights. Oh, mommy, my legs hurt. My shins used to kill me, but now I have these long legs and I'm happy with them, right? But at the time, it was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. But with the Star card, I regress with my little stories. But with the Star card, there's just maybe some few minor challenges. And I feel like that's what this decision, or that's what you guys are struggling. It may seem like a big thing, but I feel like once you make that decision, it's definitely going to push you in the right direction. All right. And don't be paranoid about it, and don't drag your feet, and don't, worry so much. Step out on faith. All right. And take that leap. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. It's about not clinging to something. You're clinging to something, and you need to let it go. All right, you need to open up, be a little bit more vulnerable. Okay, guys, it's time to let your guard down a little bit. So I feel like some of my Geminis, either someone's going to open up and let their guard down with you, or you definitely need to just, be a little bit more positive, have faith that things will work out. All right, and not be so guarded and defensive. All right, and don't worry about, if you're being honest about how you feel, another person may not receive that in the best way. But it is what it is. You don't have to be defensive. You don't have to defend your point of view. It's how you feel, okay? But at the same time, open up, let people know how you're feeling, tell the truth. There's no need to build a wall around you, okay? And, be honest and positive, and focus on positive results, okay? I feel like that's what the Star card also is here about, all right? So that has been your reading, Gemini. Interesting. Capricorn didn't show up here, but, oh, actually, Capricorn is here. Capricorn is here. So, guys, let me know in the comments what's going on. If you would like a more personalized reading dedicated just to you and your energy and your partner's energy, if you're in a relationship, then go ahead and contact me. DivineLoveTarot@gmail.com. My information is in the description bar beneath this video. Alright guys, so that has been your reading, and I will see you at the next one. Bye, Gemini.